Well, hello everyone. It's your girl Rashi. I am here for another edition, our parent to parent segment. I try to clean everything up. This is actually, you know what? I'll just tell you what this is. This is the Katy Community Impact newspaper, where I was going to look through some stories to see if it's something that's worth covering. So I'm so excited about our episode today because we're going to be talking about something I'm very passionate about: being a mom, a full-time working mom with a side hustle. And I have two phenomenal ladies who are doing just that. They have a full-time job, they have kids, they are also doing their side hustle. And this isn't like, we're just doing something little on the side. Like, we are creating a business. We are making differences here, helping people out. So it's so great. And I know that just from a little bit of research that I was doing, that people, because of the pandemic, also the rise in prices, the amount of people getting side hustles are increasing. Statistics show that 3 in 10 Americans are starting to, or have not, or if they haven't already, they have a side hustle. Now, we're talking anything from creating a company to maybe doing something on Etsy. I mean, small, big, whatever it is. But, we are like professional hustlers when you talk about parents, because we chauffeur, many cook. I mean, I try to. Take them to school, sleep, play, all those things. So why not do this on the side? So I'm going to bring in two phenomenal ladies who are joining me today. There we go. Why am I the bigger one? I don't know. Here, let's, I'm doing this myself. There we go. So I have Kim with Toddler Playhouse. Now, do you go by Toddler Soft Play, Toddler Playhouse? Is there like...
Actually, Toddler Play Zone Houston.
Toddler Play Zone Houston. Okay. This is the website though, right?
Yes.
I got that right. Okay, great. And we have Tasha Dalal. She, full of disclosure, is a childhood best friend. So, I've known her for quite some time. Very proud of her. I've gotten to know Kim, and both your stories are just so phenomenal. Both of your parents. Kim, you are a single parent and you work full time. Tasha works full time. And both of you during the pandemic, I think just a little before the pandemic, Kim, is when you started your business, right?
That's right.
And so I'm going to ask you first, what made you want to start something?
Sure. So I've always been passionate about kids' parties. My son's parties growing up, I just always went all out for birthdays and that type of thing. And it was my niece's first birthday, and I was busy helping my sister-in-law and brother set up for the party, balloon garland, cake pops, all these types of things. And actually, there was another lady that walked in and set up soft play, and I nearly lost my mind. Bells, whistles, everything. And I thought to myself, that's all she really needed was, a beautiful, safe play area for her birthday. And so that's when I just, I chatted with her a bit, put things together, did a lot of homework and research, and I just knew right away. In fact, that many years ago, that's what I did for my son's first birthday. I rented out a children's museum. And we were out of the country at the time, and I brought all of his toys. It wasn't elaborate, but realizing that toddlers need something to do in a safe play, in a safe space, when there's a social event.
Yeah, definitely. And so I know that there are a lot of hurdles being a parent, and also, you need a steady income. So you have a full-time job as well. So what kind of motivated you to take that big leap and do something like this?
Sure. Well, what motivated me the most was that I was passionate about it already. I didn't have to, it was very familiar to me. I was very comfortable with it. And so after doing the research and putting the play areas together, I just got more and more involved. We started out with primary colors, and then after about a year, we went to pinks, then blues, pastels, and that type of thing. And so what really motivated me the most was just seeing the parents' response to it. Even pre-COVID, it was almost as if they didn't know what to do for a 1 or 2 year old birthday party. They knew to order a bounce house, but the baby just started walking the day before his birthday. He's not ready to bounce yet. So the reward was just our parents, our families, each one at a time. I remember friends used to say, "How did your party go?" And I started thinking, the parties don't have but one way to go. Everybody's happy. You've got three generations there ready to celebrate. It's a big deal. They made it a year, 2 years. And so that just warmed my heart.
Yeah, and many people take into Instagram. This is part of your Instagram page. It looks beautiful. I'm gonna bring in Tasha now because Tasha, you just launched your company, Moving Box Co. Not
I did.
And I know that it was hard for you in the beginning because, well, still you're like in the process of learning and stuff like that. And, thank goodness, your company is doing very well. There's a high demand. But how are you able to juggle because you have two girls, a husband, very helpful husband, and, a full time job as well in the oil and gas industry, and then doing this on the side. So, how are you able to do it all?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great question, and I constantly struggle with it. But I think for me, what's worked is just knowing kind of where to prioritize and really being able to balance everything. I do a lot of meal planning. I make sure, my family gets home cooked meals as much as possible. I get friends support, family support, and I just ask for help whenever I need it. And I think honestly, just having the pandemic and being able to really get put into a space where both my kids were at home, we were all working from home, really just made me figure it out real quick how to become, most efficient and get things done really, really quickly and multitask where I can. So yeah, that's kind of the way that I see it right now.
Yeah, and I was going to show your website. Here it is, Ditch the Tape. I mean, it's a great concept, and it's something that you said, on the West Coast, and kind of bringing it here now, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I actually kind of wanted to do something different in my last move. I struggled with building boxes, and I looked for something in Houston that was more kind of eco-friendly and reusable and just easier. And I didn't find anything, but there was just a booming business on the West Coast. So I tried to research that and kind of bring that concept over to Houston.
That's awesome. And I'm just going to put this little Instagram post out. You're sold out. Which is great
Sold
because
out for a
Kim's
little
had that
bit.
situation too. She has way too many orders, way too many things to fill,
Mhm.
time, and it's great because I love seeing successful women, moms, dads, whatever, doing great things. And I know both of you, and we've talked, Kim. You're just like so, helping other people out, and you just love seeing that portion of it. What do you think is the hardest thing that you've had to encounter, Kim? Because I know your son is older. But when it comes to having to do this juggling act, what is the most difficult for you?
The hardest thing is missing family events, missing, the dances. A lot of times family will step in, I've got events. So, but we're getting to the point now where we're hiring a team. And so I'm practicing letting go and leaning more on my team, thank goodness. And so, I look to grow in that area, this year. But that's the hardest thing is missing special moments and special occasions with the family.
And it's definitely, and I heard this from Tasha too, is um, not being kind of afraid to do the bigger thing, or going out there and doing it. So, what advice do you have to others who are just trying to want to take that step, but then they don't want to lose out on other parts? Because another big thing that I hear from both of you is you can't be afraid to ask for help because you're doing so much.
That's true. You have to keep balance, time for yourself, time for your family. Like Tasha was saying, cooking dinner, school pickups, that type of thing, prioritizing and just most of your time. But I would tell anyone that has a dream or a hobby or a passion, that they want to go after, don't be afraid. Just you don't have to take a big leap, just take a small leap and, just start building the house brick by brick, one at a time. It will all come together.
All right. And I'm going to show, just from some of the research that I've done, these are some side hustle tips that I found. Getting organized, make time for yourself, setting goals, big ones, and finding your support system. Out of all these, what are some, I would say maybe like the top two that you would both recommend people to do if they are looking into this? Because there are many parents that are passionate about something, but they don't make time for themselves, or maybe even not even feel that they deserve it, because they're doing so many other things. So what would you, Tasha, say is the best thing to do? And I'll bring it up again if you need to reference it.
So I think making time for yourself and finding your support system are the two most important. I mean, for me, without my support system, I would not be anywhere. And they make everything happen for me, and I'm not afraid to ask them for help. And it's just a one man show over here, but I can't do everything on my own. So without them, there's not going to be a side hustle or me able to do anything. And finding time for yourself. I mean, burnout is real, and you have to continue to check in on yourself because there's so much that can happen if you don't. And I think, finding the time to just take a break, doing things that, self care, going for a walk, meditation, whatever it is that you need to do, it's really important to prioritize that. And I myself have found and been the victim of that. So I know now that that's something I have to prioritize.
Yeah, and that's definitely just not even fair to yourself. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, just personally, I'll give an account. Like, I just have a busy schedule like everybody else does. But Tasha and I had coffee this morning, and it was like the best start to the day because I'm like, I had all these other things I could have done and all this. And I was like, you know what? We're going to set this time. We're going to do it. And it's like that recharge that you need. And
It is.
with a girlfriend, or even if it's by yourself, I just feel that one of the good things with all the mental health kind of stories that I've done is kind of just normalizing anxiety, normalizing
Mhm.
talking about it, because everybody has it. I have it. Everyone has it. And in this light of social media, we see the highlights of everybody's life,
Yeah.
and that is so unrealistic. And I think that adds pressure to parents or whatever to be a certain way. Kim, what about you? What do you think is the most important, or a couple of the most important ones?
Well, getting organized is very important to me, especially being a single parent. There's some Saturdays, like before I leave, I'll cook breakfast, cook lunch, organize those types of things. I have to make sure everything is together at the warehouse, and, just to let the day run smoothly so that we don't have any, hiccups or cause any delays. But one important thing I think, Rashi, is that these side hustles give us a release, a break from the day to day, because in most cases, especially in my case, it's something that I actually enjoy. So even during the pandemic, when everybody was, hunkered down, we were for a while, but we gave families an opportunity to still celebrate in a small set in the privacy of their home. And it's just a feeling that you just don't get during the week when you're doing your regular 8 to 5 reports and meetings and Zoom calls. It's just a different feeling in addition to the hustle.
And how do you get organized? Because being a single parent, I can't imagine. And then, you have a team. So that's that's hard, going from being the controlling one where all the ins and outs of what everything's happening to now adding staff and putting responsibility there. So how do you get to that point?
It takes time, to be honest. It took me a while because you have to trust, you have to let go. You really, really have to be organized, especially to lead a team. When your team leaves for the day, you have to make sure that they have everything. And I've actually seen a lot of my team develop. I've helped develop people, and they're finding their passion in other areas as well as helping us do the business. I mean, I have some college students that text me at the end of the day saying, how did they like it when you picked it up, or that type of thing. So but I find being organized and like meditating, just, being focused, being in the day, understanding the purpose, and just not go, 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 work, work, work. And I think having lunch, stopping, taking a break, doing something different is always refreshing. You need that.
Can you give an example of when you've been kind of like almost the verge of burnout, and you've kind of told yourself, okay, Kim, we're going to just not go there. We're going to take a step back, because I think that self-correct is so hard for a lot of us.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Many times we are booked, and I get that phone call from a mom. If she emails me or texts me, it's easy to say we're booked. But once I hear that voice and I hear that desperation that every mom has been there, wants to do something for their baby, either they didn't know about soft play or they waited till the last minute. And so I just find myself trying to make it happen. And at the end of the day, sometimes I'm so exhausted that I think you have to put your family first at some point. And so I'm learning how to balance that. But at the same time, it's still hard when you take that call. You know, it's just really hard. But I do have a soft play community that I always reach out to. We're very close here in Houston, and so we always try to help, find someone else. It's just usually it's hard to find someone at the last minute, and so I will get up at 6 or 7 a.m. to squeeze that one party in that couldn't find anybody. I've given them 4 or 5 numbers, and they come. But I always say, call me back if you don't get anybody. That's where I need to stop.
Yeah. No, and it's great how there's like so many layers because Tasha, your company, if you want to describe just real quick what the company is about, you also have so many layers and other people that could possibly even help out.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we rent reusable moving boxes. And basically, how it works is the customer places the order. We deliver them to their door for free. They pack and then they move to their new space. And then we pick their boxes up whenever they're done with their rental period. It's been such a big learning experience. I mean, I've had to go from, all the supply chain constraints that we've had through the pandemic, even just sourcing the inventory that we have, to finding driver, to finding cleaners. It's definitely been really, really challenging. And I think, just again, having your support system there. Rashi, I've reached out to you so many times and you'll tell me, Tasha, stop and breathe. So just being able to have that person or those people to lean on and make sure that you don't burn out is super important.
Yes. And if your business is very in high demand, you expand. I'm pushing Tasha to do that, Kim. I'm pushing Tasha to do that. So, and I know it's hard. Y'all are all learning. And I think that it's so impactful to say, hey, it's hard. We all experience burnout because there's other people on here that are like, wait, it looks all great. I mean, if you look at your Instagram, Kim, you're like, well, how does she put all this wonderful stuff up together? Like the behind the scenes, how does that even work? When you get to that point of just possible breakdown, because we've all been there probably numerous times throughout the week, maybe even, what do you tell yourself, Kim, that kind of keeps you going?
You know what? I get a thank you from my mom. I just tell myself, well, for one, I have to keep going because there's another day. Families are counting on us. These are reservations that were made 10 to 12, sometimes 3 months in advance. So I just take a deep breath. I get more support if I need it. And you just keep pushing. And those little smiles really just give your energy. You recharge when that mom says thank you. When families really let you know that what you did, they appreciate it. Even though we're getting paid to do a job, it's a service. And we just feel I can't even describe the feeling, to be honest with you. It's just so heartfelt and warm. And so you go to bed and you get up again and it's a new day.
And I know, Kim, you look forward to the weekends and when you get to do this. And I know, Tasha, you were telling me also, which rightfully so, you're just so proud of like where the company has come from, what you've started. So what are your feelings like? Because I'm sure that there are times where you're like, this is very overwhelming for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think, definitely wasn't expecting to grow this big, this quickly. And it's honestly been such a blessing and I'm learning every day. Like you said, I need to get to that point where I can expand. But yeah, I think just being able to lean on my husband, making sure that I make time for myself, that's the only way I can prevent myself from getting overwhelmed. And not to say that it doesn't happen because it does, but seeing my customers, seeing my kids being so proud of me, so proud of the business, I think it all makes it worth it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I think that this has been so impactful because you all in the Facebook world and also on our website, thank you so much for joining us. And you hear from two people that are in it, doing the most. I think that's what I titled it. Parents doing the most. Yes, you guys are doing the most. Y'all are trailblazers and really just inspirational to so many people. And I thank you both for joining us this evening. And just a quick shout out, Moving Box co.com and toddlersoftplay.com. You can also find them on our website, because I'll link it to that, and we'll put it also on our Facebook page. They have an Instagram page, so definitely give them a follow. Ladies, thank you so much, and I
you.
wish you both the best, and I have your number, so we'll talk soon.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Rashi.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you
Bye.
guys for tuning in
Bye-bye.
for an episode of Parent to Parent. Next week, I'm really excited because we're talking about an issue that is so near and dear to our hearts, which is anxiety with children. That has definitely increased since the pandemic. And there is one doctor out of Chicago who is saying that many parents need to go to anxiety testing for their kids, and what all of that is about, and some samples, and how you can actually do this online by yourself for free. All that will be talked about next Thursday on our Parent to Parent segment. So until then, see ya.